What up, Reader fam? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a recommendations video. I'm gonna help your TBRs grow today just a little bit, because that's what I do best. Give your TBRs the boosts they need. Today's video is being sponsored by SerialBox. I've talked about them in a video before, and they've so kindly sponsored another video of mine. If you don't know anything about SerialBox, then let me fill you up with deets. They're a platform that has an array of book titles, and they publish immersive fiction through both ebook and audiobook formats. It's easy to flip back and forth between audiobook and ebook. And like y'all know, I'm the most indecisive person on the planet. It's low-key a problem, but we're not gonna unpack that today. Nope, we'll leave it packed for a later date. So if I'm not feeling like reading the ebook, then I can easily flip-flop to the audiobook. And listen, are you listening? I will rave about their audiobooks until the end of time. They're done so well compared to most audiobooks. Like, they completely just pick you up and transport you into the story because they put so much effort into just making the audiobook the best that it can be by making an immersive experience through sound effects, background ambiance, and the voice actors they choose. Talk about top tier, top notch, toppity top quality. We love to see it or hear it. And you can always read or listen to the first episode of a serial for free. For free. Always. Free. F-R-E-E. In case I needed to spell that out for you. No cash money required for the first step. That way you can do a little taste test and see if it hits the spot. They've got a few new titles coming to the platform that I'm going to briefly mention. The first one is Memory Lane, written by the Pretty Little Liars author Sarah Shepard, along with Ellen Goodlett, who is the author of the Rule Duology. It's for fans of Black Mirror, so basically what I'm saying is it's gonna be straight up trippy. Shoot, I'm here for that. Take me on a trip to Trippyland. It's a contemporary sci-fi that follows our main character, who has just received her mom's implanted memories in a scientific study. So she begins to experience these things from her mom's past, things that her mom says never ever ever happened. Okay, mystery, I see you. You better bring it, because I'm ready for it. It's mystery hours. When the memories reveal a drowning that took place, Alex must do everything that she can to evade a killer who is trying to bury the truth. Hello suspense, hello mystery, give it to me now. My ears are hungry for this audiobook. All episodes for Memory Lane are up now if you want to check it out. I'm also really excited because Marvel's Black Panther: Sins of the King launches on January 28th with the first 3 episodes. Those are just a few titles on SerialBox that I am excited to get to. And if you want to check out SerialBox and get 50% off your first SerialBox, you can use the code jesseSerialBox to get 50% off. Hey! We love a discount code. Now, I'm always a little bit hesitant in recommending audiobooks because, like, we all have different things that float our boats, you know? What floats mine might not float yours. In fact, what floats mine might in fact sink your boat. And I don't want no one drowning, alright? Let's just let the lifeguard relax and keep burning up in the sun. But, today I'm gonna be recommending you 5 audiobooks. 5 audiobooks that did the dang thing for me. What did they do? They did that. That's what they did. Click, clack, boom, boom. They did that. So without further ado, now that I've rambled on for far too long, let's get into the audiobook recommendations. First up, we've got Geekerella by Ashley Poston. Geekerella is a Cinderella retelling with a geeky twist, as if the title didn't already state the obvious. We follow 2 perspectives. First up, we've got Elle, who is a full-on fangirl for this sci-fi series called Starfield. On the flippity side, we follow Darren, who is going to be starring in the Starfield movie. It's essentially a love letter to fandom culture and all things geeky, and it's quite literally one of the purest books I've ever read. Pure, pure, pure. Say that too many times and it doesn't sound like a word anymore. I feel like I'm always so loud about this book. I recommend it way too much, but I just can't help it because I love it. My heart does a little boom boom pow every time I see it. You know it's book love when you feel that boom boom pow in your heart. This book is like candy. I can't get enough of it. It's full of sweetness. It just gives me that sweet old sugar rush. I especially love the audiobook for this one. It's not like there's anything spectacular about it. Like, there ain't no fancy sound effects. There ain't no background music. There ain't no magic juice flowing into your ears. It's just 2 voice actors reading the lines. But they deliver in a way that makes it easy to get nestled up in the story, just like full on nestled up into it. Their voices give your ears a little hug. You can hear the enthusiasm in their voices as they're reading the story to you. And it's easy to get wrapped up in that and forget about what's going on in the real world. And if that's the only ticket I can take for a little bit to get out of here, I'll take it. I always love when we do have alternating chapters between different characters, and it switches between audiobook narrators, because it makes their voices stand out and makes it easier to differentiate between the characters. Did I just glitch? I glitched. If you're looking for a fun little lighthearted break from this nightmare of a world, I highly recommend checking out the Geekerella audiobook for a little pick-me-up. Pick me up. If you get that reference, you're K-pop trash just like me. Next up, I'm recommending The June Boys by Courtney C. Stevens. The June Boys is a mystery novel about these boys that get taken every June by the Gemini thief. The kidnapper takes the boys from June 1st all the way to June 30th the next year. And the Gemini thief has been able to evade authorities for nearly nearly a decade. When Thea's cousin is taken, she is determined to uncover the mystery behind the Gemini thief and expose them. But things take a turn when for the first time, one of the boys turns up dead. This story is not one of the most mind-blowing on the market. Drop your expectations off at daycare and just pick up the book and go with it. There's a specific reason as to why I actually preferred the audiobook for this one. When I first read it, I read it just physically. I read the book here. I read it with my eyeballs. And then when I reread it, I listened to the audiobook. For this one, again, we have two narrators for the two perspectives. Actually, I think there's maybe three, but the third one doesn't come in till the very end. We have one reading the main POV, and then we have one reading the letters from the boys. As you can see, we've got some letter elements that come into play, where we see bits from the boys who are kidnapped. And again, when we have those dual narratives, I enjoy having two audiobook narrators going back and forth. But the big reason I preferred the audiobook for this one is because the audiobook has a scene at the end of it that was cut from the physical book. Cut, chop, chop. And let me tell you, I was mad when I found out about it. Because for me, it took the book from a level D to a level B. It's just such a beautiful scene that just kind of wraps up the story perfectly. I'm gonna have to have a meeting with whomever decided to tear it out of the book, and I'm gonna come to the meeting with glue and force them to glue it back in. Stick it back in, sir. I liked the book okay, but when I listened to the audiobook and heard that little itty bitty scene, it just made me appreciate the story so much more and just gave so much more insight to the overall story and everything that happened, and it's just it is devastating that it's not in the physical book. The June Boys explores many different topics from family to loss, and while that isn't the most heart-wrenching novel, it does build up suspense as the story moves on, and a lot of unexpected things happen throughout the book. Next up, I'm recommending Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. A book that everybody sleeps on. Let me be your alarm clock and say, wake up, reader fam. Wake up! Oh, what? It's time to read it. Okay. The story takes place in a land that was plunged into darkness after a great kami dragon summoned a terrible wish 1,000 years ago. Now whomever holds the scroll of 1,000 prayers will be granted a new wish. And we essentially follow two people who are after that scroll. Because who doesn't want that scroll? With that scroll comes power and literally the chance to change the future forever. We've got Yumeko, who is a half kitsune, half human, and Kage Tetsume, who is a samurai for the Shadow Clan. An alliance is formed between the two, but they've both got secrets that they're keeping from each other, making their journey one full of tension. This is one of those books where I listened to the audiobook and read the book with my eyeballs, and let me tell you, it helped me enter a new dimension. And when I say new dimension, I mean this book grew an arm and pulled me out of this earth and plopped me into the book's world. It lended itself to full-on transporting me into the book, and it felt like I was in a trance. And I finally snapped out of it the second the book reached its end. Wakey wakey. I have a habit of kind of listening to audiobooks while I do read physical books, because focus, what's that? Focus left with 2020 and I've been trying to get it back, but it's been straight up ignoring me. So I've turned to reading with the eyeballs and listening to the audiobook with the ears at the same time. It's a double consumption method. Again, this one has double narration, which is a plus for me, a cherry on top for me, cream in the coffee for me. If you love stories full of world building, adventure, and chaos with an unlikely bond, this book will be right up your alley. The next one I'm recommending is The Night Tiger by Yang Shi-chu. I was gonna sit here and try to put this book into my own words, but I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna take the easy way out. Don't tell the teacher. Goodreads got my back for this one because they put it so nicely in this little bit right here. I'll dramatize it for you though. How about that? Yeah, let's get it. A sweeping historical novel about a dance hall girl and an orphan boy whose fate's entangled over an old Chinese superstition about men who turn into tigers. Perfectly put, Goodreads, bravo, I'll give you a little clap clap, even though it was more than likely the publisher that wrote that. I read this book physically first, I think. If I remember correctly, it might have been one of those situations where I listened to the audiobook while I was reading the book, but I'm pretty sure that I read it physically and then got the audiobook anyway. I snatched up the audiobook, and what I ended up doing was listening to the audiobook while I went to sleep, just because I would rather listen to an audiobook while falling asleep instead of listening to my thoughts, because my mind often does that thing where it replays embarrassing moments right before I'm falling asleep, and then I can't fall asleep because I'm cringing at myself because of embarrassing things that I've done in my past. So I just overpower my thoughts with an audiobook. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. There's something about this book that reads like a fairy tale, but for adults. Mind you, it does have some dark moments, so it's not always the best to listen to right before bed, because you end up entering nightmare land as you give into the sleep monster. But it's a mix of whimsy and weird, and it's definitely one of those books where I would categorize it as a comfort read at this point for me. The first read for me was definitely walking into new waters and just kind of feeling out the vibe and being enchanted by every page flip. And then I listened to it on audio for the second go, and it was like slipping into a world that brought me peace. The audiobook is narrated by the author, which I think is always great because they know the tone of voice that's needed for every bit of the story, and her voice be like honey slipping into my ears. Not that that would feel good or be an enjoyable experience. You catch what I'm dropping, and if you don't, I meant her voice is sweet. Anyway, moving on. The story is full of mystery, enchantment, and intertwining storylines, and it will have you enchanted the whole way through. The last book on my list is a memoir, and that is Becoming by Michelle Obama. Boss, Michelle Obama. Purse so heavy getting Oprah dollars, hey! If you know, you know. Becoming explores the life of Michelle Obama. It chronicles her life through all the things that she's been through, from her years in school, to her career, to marriage, to motherhood, and to being the first lady. I love the audiobook because of how personable it is. Again, this is one where the author, Michelle Obama, is reading it to you, and it's like listening to a friend tell you these wild stories that happened to them throughout their life, and learning how it shaped them and made them into the person that they are today. I mean, it probably helps that Michelle Obama just has this like soothing voice. Like, you can read to me all day if you want to, Michelle Obama. I'm listening. I wouldn't be mad at that, but I know you don't got time for that. But if you did, I'd be living my best life. My ears ate the audiobook right up and said bon appetit. Ooh, imagine if your ears could talk. A bon appetit. No, but really, while this one is a bit of an undertaking because there is just so much information and so much to Michelle's life, it's worth it to uncover the life of Michelle Obama through this memoir and how that all affected her and shaped her into the person that she is today. Alright guys, so those are 5 audiobooks that I highly recommend checking out. Again, what floats my boat might not float your boat. Just know that before picking them up. I'm always just like so nervous in recommending anything, so like I'm just putting that cautionary statement out there. Again, thank you to SerialBox for sponsoring this video, and if you want to get 50% off your first SerialBox, you can use the code JESSESERIALBOX at checkout. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you have any audiobook recommendations for me. I always am open to recommendations, so hit me up. And if you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye. We follow two perspectives. It was in that moment that he thought, what am I doing with my life? Somebody help me. To marriage, to motherhood. It's snowing outside and I'm upset about it. I hate snow. It can die. It can melt. Clap for the mic. We clap for the mic. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. All right. We're on to the last book and I still have a voice. I'm not sure how, but I do. Ooh, 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 ooh. You can hear the Come on, boys. Kick it out. Enthusiasm. You can hear the enthusiasm, okay? Geekarella is a Geekarella Cinderella. What did I just say? Geekarella is a Geekarella. What? Sometimes I cannot with myself. This is one of those books where I read the audiobook and listened. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. What? How that freaking hurt. This is how I'm doing it. I'm literally just lifting it up and dropping it and closing my eyes. Okay. What?